Hey, Falcons fans, if you want to stay up to date with all the news, updates, and updates about our team, you're in the right place. Here, you'll find everything about the Atlanta Falcons, with content made especially for our fans. So, don't waste time. Subscribe to the channel now and activate the bell to be the first to receive all notifications. And, of course, leave a like to strengthen our incredible community of Falcons fans. Get ready, because we're bringing you the latest and exclusive news. Now, let's get to today's news. Falcons receive encouraging update on Terrell ahead of MNF matchup with Bills. The Atlanta Falcons are preparing for their biggest test of the season when the Buffalo Bills come to town for Monday Night Football in Week 6. Needing to get back above .500, the Falcons will have to be at their best to stop one of the best teams in the AFC. And that means staying healthy. Slowing down Buffalo Bills quarterback Josh Allen won't be easy, especially with the Bills coming off a surprising loss to division rival New England on Sunday Night Football. Defensively, the Falcons are without one of their key playmakers, cornerback Terrell Jr. Terrell has missed the last 2 games due to a hamstring injury suffered in Week 2 against the Minnesota Vikings. The good news for Atlanta is that the former All-Pro could return soon, although head coach Raheem Morris was non-committal about his return against Buffalo. AJ will probably be the most important player we expect back for this game, Morris said, according to Terrell. Obviously, he'll be practicing this week. We'll take that all the way to game time. We're happy with that. Falcons have the NFL's #1 defense. Even without Terrell, Atlanta enters Week 6 with the league's #1 defense in total yards allowed. A bye in Week 5 gave the unit some extra rest, and statistically, the Falcons have outperformed the rest of the NFL. They are limiting opponents to a league-best 244 yards per game and have allowed just 8 touchdowns. They also rank first in passing defense, 135 yards per game, 5 touchdowns. 16th in rushing defense, 109 yards per game, 2 touchdowns. 15th in scoring defense, 21.5 points per game, and 25th in red zone defense. At first glance, it might seem like Terrell wasn't missed, but those numbers can be deceiving. The Falcons have yet to allow 200 passing yards in a game, but 2 of their opponents have started backup quarterbacks. In another game against Carolina, the Panthers barely needed to throw, as Atlanta's turnovers kept giving them the ball. Now comes a much bigger challenge. Allen, the reigning MVP, who can hurt defenses with both his arm and his legs. Despite all the hype surrounding the #1 defense, this will be their toughest test yet. Deadline deal proposal sends $33 million WR to Falcons. The Atlanta Falcons are 2-2 heading into the bye week of their 5th season, and while they've shown promise with second-year quarterback Michael Penix Jr. and superstar running back Bijan Robinson, they still appear to be a long way from being a true playoff team. Bleacher Report has an idea to address this. In a recent article on trades that could elevate fringe contenders to the top, Bleacher Report proposed a deal that would send Las Vegas Raiders wide receiver Jakobi Meyers to Atlanta for a 2026 4th-round draft pick. At first glance, it seems like a simple trade. In reality, it could be the move that transforms the Falcons into legitimate contenders. Through 4 weeks, the Falcons' biggest problem has been a lack of reliable passing options. In fact, Bijan Robinson leads Atlanta in both rushing and receiving yards. Drake London and Kyle Pitts are doing their part, but beyond them, production is dropping precipitously. Darnell Mooney was signed to be that reliable third weapon, but he managed just 7 receptions for 79 yards in his first 3 games for Atlanta. No other Falcon besides Robinson, London, and Pitts has topped 80 receiving yards this year. For Penix, who is still trying to establish rhythm and consistency in his rookie season, this is a problem the front office cannot ignore. Why Jakobi Meyers fits for the Falcons. Meyers isn't a household name, but he's one of the most productive complementary receivers in the league. After Davante Adams' departure, he was forced into the WR1 role with the Raiders and is thriving, recording 21 receptions for 258 yards on 33 targets in 4 weeks. Put him in as WR2 behind London in Atlanta, and suddenly the Falcons' offense looks completely different. Meyers brings route-running ability, steady hands, and the ability to move the chain, exactly what Penix needs to grow as a passer. With London, Pitts, Myers, Mooney, and Robinson, the Falcons would quietly have one of the most balanced skill groups in the NFL. It also doesn't hurt that Jakobi Meyers is looking for a fresh start. He reportedly requested a trade this offseason, and Atlanta has the cap space and salary cap flexibility to accept his $33 million deal. What makes this move even more attractive is the cost. According to B/R's proposal, a 2026 fourth-round draft pick would be enough to sign Myers. The Falcons haven't made the playoffs since 2017. They're currently in the middle of the pack in the NFC, a team with potential but also with glaring holes. The NFC South is wide open, and Atlanta's roster is talented enough to compete if the passing game has another reliable weapon.